Hello, welcome back. I know it's been a while. Whoops. I moved and then a lot has happened, and so didn't really want to make this episode, and now I'm back on it. So here I am. This is just another getting to know me kind of thing, but also getting to know conventions. So I'm doing, as you could tell by the title, conventions that I have been to, and I'm going to give a little brief synopsis of whether I think the con is a good one or not so good one. So let's just get into it. The very first con I ever went to was Triad Anime Con 2013. This con was small, the location was fine. It was a little bit boring. Not much to do. I found some things to do, but this was overall not the greatest con. For no other fault than my own of being a little baby con goer that didn't know what they were doing. Bringing my mom, who didn't want to be there. Definitely didn't want to be in the cosplays that I forced her to do with me. But the con itself, it was alright. I don't think it's still in that location anymore. I think it's somewhere else if it's not gone. But HoshiCon 2013, I'm almost certain this con is gone. It was in the same location, very nice. This con we had a hotel room in the convention center, which was more convenient, but also probably completely unnecessary because it was literally in the same town as that we lived in. So, but this con was so fun. It was very fun, and I had a really good time there. So, that was fun. Triad Anime 2014. Again, not so fun. Not much to do. And the most fun we had was probably finding little places in the hotel that we shouldn't have been in. So, I don't know if I'd recommend that one, if it even still is going on, but I'm pretty sure if it is going on, it's somewhere else completely, so I can't really say much about that. Animazement 2014. Animazement is huge. Everybody was always talking about it. I went alone, 14-year-old, so my non-recommendation, I say it's not worth it. But that's not entirely, I don't know if that's entirely accurate. I think it could have been more fun if I was with friends or something, but I just kind of sat around, and I was wearing a lot of cosplays that were more obscure, so nobody really knew who I was cosplaying. So it just wasn't great. I mean, it really wasn't a great time. But, it's one of those bigger conventions, and I'm surprised. I always forget that I went to it, because I have no real recollection of it other than me being scared and alone. So, next, I moved. So next I went to Shudocon 2015, which was fun, actually. I really liked it. I proceeded to go to Shudocon until Shudocon was no more. The con itself was okay for a couple years, and then it started just going downhill. The organization was bad. The head of the con was not good and was doing it for profit, so she was kind of taking con funds and not putting it back into the con, and which eventually made her go into debt, which eventually made her not have the con anymore. So ShudoCon 2015 was probably the best ShudoCon. And after ShudoCon 2015, I went to Grand Rapids Comic Con 2015. I can't properly rate this con. I went literally to see Walter Jones, who's the Black Power Ranger, like the Black Ranger, and yeah. I got an autograph. It's hanging up in my room right now. Actually, I'm looking at it right now, and so that was fun. But I didn't really realize what like Comic Cons were, so it was really small, and it was like not much to do because it was just Comic Cons are all about the guests, and I only cared about like 1 or 2 guests. So that was that. You can see by my vlogs that con was kind of just me wandering around and trying to figure out things to do. So it's a good picture con, and it's good if the guests you like, but I wouldn't recommend it for like a con, you know. ShudoCon 2016 I went to. It was fun because I went with friends. The con itself was pretty lackluster at this point. ShudoCon, or no. Then I went to Colossal Con 2016. Colossal Con is a party con. I haven't gone to Colossal Con since this time, but because if you're not old enough to drink, Colossal Con gets interesting at a certain point in the night. I'd say past 7 p.m. You don't want to be 2 16-year-olds wandering around getting lost. So I'd say it's a fun con, but you should probably go with either a group. Well, I was there with a friend, so I definitely would not have enjoyed that con if I wasn't with Am. But you should either go with a group, or definitely, I recommend going to all cons with friends, at least one. But Colossal Con, since it's such a big party con, and I think, yeah, let's say for the 5th time, go with a group or go with like a couple friends when you're of drinking age. So I'm hoping to go to Colossal Con again next year. I'm really hoping to. I also say don't go unless you have a hotel nearby, because otherwise it gets frustrating. Then we went to ShudoCon 2017. This con was miserable. This is when ShudoCon really started going downhill. And it showed, and everyone noticed it. And people were not having it. The security, not having it. Yeah, it just, and on top of the con already being not so good, that was the year I competed as Tyrande. And if you know anything about Tyrande and cosplaying characters like her, it involves waking up at 3 a.m. for to airbrush your whole entire body purple, besides your legs, because you got tights. But it's not. I do not recommend. Anyways, after that, a big jump basically in time, completely different people. I was a different person between ShudoCon 2017 and YumaCon 2017. YumaCon 2017 was very fun, kind of. again, wasn't much to do, but it was really cool to just experience it. And because the weather was so nice this year, it hasn't been this nice any other of the years I've gone since, but it was very nice this year, 2017. So we walked like outside on the boardwalk to between the convention centers each time, and that was really fun. And it was just a really nice little con, or I guess it's big, but yeah, I liked the setup it had in 2017, where the game room was in the Marriott. I'm not too fond of the newer setup, but it's alright. It makes sense. It just seems like a weird layout, but they're reorganizing it again this year coming, as I've heard. Next, I went to ShudoCon 2018. I only went for one day, so it wasn't like, I can't truly rate the con, but again, the only interesting thing was that ProZD was there, and the rest of the con makes its downfall. So I don't even have to recommend ShudoCon or not recommend ShudoCon to you, because it's gone. It's dead. There's no more ShudoCon. Then I went to Fantasticon 2018, which was very fun, very epic. I went with a bunch of friends, and I won the cosplay contest in my Gerudo Link, and it was just a fun little con. Not much to do, but it was a fun little con to go with your friends. Next, I went to YumaCon 2018. Absolutely terrible. Nothing to do. I cosplayed Brigitte, not knowing a thing about making armor, and everything fell apart, and it was not good, and I went with Am, and someone stole their badge in the game room, and then somebody took a picture of them crying. So it was not a fun time. The con itself, it's a nice taking pictures con, so it's a nice meme con, and it's a nice taking pictures con. It's not the best for much else. YumaCon, I'm surprised it's as big as it is, and that might be one of its downfalls, the way it's separated as well. And the buildings are just kind of too far apart, you know. Traveling from building to building, especially if you're going with friends, and then they're like, oh, I'm in this one. Oh, now I'm in this one. By the time you get the people mover over there, they're in the people mover back. It's an interesting layout, but we'll get to that. Then I went to ShudoCon 2019. This was the last ShudoCon I went to. It was actually kind of fun because nobody cared at this point. We all knew this was going to be the last ShudoCon, or at least most everyone knew. Some people were like, oh no, it is good. It was basically just do whatever we want. We went crazy, went stupid. So it was honestly kind of fun, except it was just mostly the Artist Alley and then whatever night events there were. But it was pretty okay. I mean, it was so small because they condensed it all into the Radisson, or was it the Radisson? Or no, the Radisson is, you know what? The hotel. Yeah. It was what it was. And next we went to Fantasticon 2019, which was good cosplay wise, fun with friends wise. Other than that, there was literally nothing to do. I'm surprised they made this into a 2-day con after this, because there's not 2 days worth of events. It was kind of cool. There was like a guest special effects makeup artist, so I got to learn a lot about special effects, which was cool. But yeah, it wasn't, there wasn't much going on there. The only reason I kind of go ever going back is because it's super convenient to me, but if you have to drive any more than like 20 minutes to go there, it's just not even worth it, to be honest with you. Once you've gone 1 year, you've kind of gone. Then I went to Animanga 2019, which is in California. This con, I'm hoping it gets better throughout the years. It's very small and it was cheap. It was kind of worth the money. Kind of worth the 1 hour drive each day. Not really, but it was alright. It wasn't too bad. But the thing about it was all in one room. So if I had to recommend this con, the Artist Alley was amazing. Okay, the artists there were literally amazing. And the games were pretty good that they had. And, the panels were okay. And they had like a car show set up, like of a bunch of anime titty cars. So that was pretty cool. It's honestly not a bad convention at all. It's just all in one room. So I think I would recommend it if they decided to either separate it into different buildings, because where it is, there's a bunch of different buildings, but it's all in one room in one building. So, or get little like dividers at least to separate the panel area from the game room area, from the dealers area and the artist area, because it's, like I said, all one room, so it's super loud and you can't really hear anyone, which is, not ideal for a convention. And it's just kind of really easy to get a headache because you're already wearing like a wig and everything. But I saw some really cool cosplays there. I met some really nice people, and the Artist Alley was literally amazing. Literally every single booth I wanted to buy something from. So honestly, it's a great con. Super cheap. But the layout is just a little bit weird. I guess that's kind of been my complaint about most of these, is just the layout. Anyways, the last con I went to was YumaCon 2019. And that was the last con I went to before Miss Corona came into the picture. So after she came, I'm not really safe to be going to conventions anymore. I'm hoping to be able to go to OhioCon next January, or this upcoming January, I guess. But I'm gonna hope there's some kind of at least current flu vaccine, so if I get one, at least I don't get both of them, or there's some kind of mask rule in place. But YumaCon 2019, again, there was not much to do, and it was fun because I was there with my friends, but it was also frustrating because I was there with a group of 4 friends, and we kept losing each other, and 2 of that group of friends don't really answer their phone, so that was a little bit frustrating. But other than that, it was pretty fun, all things considered. It was also pretty chaotic, and it kind of felt like a fever dream. Every time we went on the People Mover, we kind of just came to the conclusion that we were shifting dimensions. And that's the summary of that con. I wish I vlogged more of that, because it was honestly really truly just chaos. It was Chaos Con. But it was as for the con itself, like I said, the layout was weird. There wasn't much to do. surprisingly, for such a big con, and the game room closed instead of being 24 hours like they usually are. And also on Sunday, everything closed like an hour before they said it would, which was a little bit annoying as well, because literally on it was just, you can see the frustration and tiredness in the vlog if you want to. But those are the cons I've gone to. The best one, I would say, honestly, the best one con-wise was Colossal. Of course, Colossal Con, it's in the name, is in the title. It's a big one. Like, it's pretty popular. It's a party con. Like, even if you're in the halls, there's always something going on. Even if there's no panels, like in the halls, there's always something going on. So you're always entertained. And the worst con, I would say, honestly, I'm gonna say Animazement, because I had pretty high expectations for Animazement. I thought Animazement would be like Colossal Con, where even in the halls there's something to do, but there was nothing going on for how big that con is. Maybe I just wasn't aware of them because I was 14, but I don't know. Just it wasn't that fun. Like, there wasn't that much going on. It wasn't organized very well. Like, when I went to check in, they didn't give me a schedule or anything, so I even if there were panels, I didn't know what they were. And I think at one point I found like a schedule, and I couldn't find any of the panel rooms because the Animazement is really big. It's a really big venue as well, so especially if you don't go to cons with friends or groups, I don't recommend Animazement very much. But that's the cons I've been going to, and so yeah. I hope you maybe got a little bit of an idea of what cons, maybe like what type of cons you'll be interested in based on the type of cons these are, and or maybe you just wanted something to listen to while working on something. So thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.